Hello there, my crypto bit brothers and sisters. It sure is good to see you here, along with Papa Ron. How in the world are you, brother?
I am just doing great, Rod. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, yeah, you betcha. Hey, man, we want some bombs. We want some bomb explosions on thumbs up. Yeah, we love them thumbs up.
Sure do.
We've been getting them. We've been getting a lot of comments lately, which is good. We like those comments too. That's good for us to read them.
Yeah, we don't always respond to everyone. We definitely read them all, though, and some of them we do respond, and we appreciate you. And there's been a lot of activity about us, not so much correcting our thoughts and what we've talked about, but they're adding to it. Like on the IRS video, a lot of good suggestions were in there and things that have been commented on. So worth reading the comments too, folks.
Yeah, appreciate you very much.
But today we want to talk about the subject we've been on for a week or two now, and that is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. We love Bitcoin.
Let's go to the market cap. It's back up to 6,800. Today is Tuesday, so we're talking 2 days after the weekend where it dropped down to about what was it, Rod? 50, 57, 50?
Yeah, something like that. But you know when it spikes down like that, Ron, I've noticed that it always bounces up higher and then a lower spike. Man, I tell you, it's gone pretty high.
Well, yeah,
today.
I think
it got up to 71.29 today. You know, when it does that little spike, I tell you, down. Look, every time on this graph, look at every time it's fell down pretty hard. Everybody says, "Oh, the bubble's busted," and then all of a sudden it jumps back up. Then it'll fall back down again, and then everybody says, "Oh, the bubble's busted," and then it jumps up higher even then.
Yep. This is 3 months. You're right. I
tell you, it's amazing.
And there it is, even more clear there. You know, and it's still got that perpetual onward, upward momentum.
You know, I hate to tell you this, but back in January of this year, it was $117.
In January?
Yeah, January 13th. January 13th.
Oh, my land.
In 2013, it was $117. Man, I wish I'd have known it way back then. You know that?
Well, we got it not much after that, but we've mentioned that before. Like we've had it's been like 2,000% or more increase over this year. It's just been phenomenal. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin Cash before we roll on here, because they've been the main obstacle over the weekend. I mean, it went parabolic there for a while, up to $2,500 or so, maybe a little higher than that. But it's back down to $1,284. And it's kind of been holding steady throughout the day on that, Rod.
I noticed that.
Let me go to 7 days here. Yeah, it's kind of plateaued out now. So, and the volume's decreased.
I think the high hype is over. Yep. I think that everybody goes back to the old granddaddy, I tell you that.
Well, they really had a push behind it with Roger Ver and some of the other high rollers, but I don't know. I just don't think, like we talked in the last couple videos, they're just and we might get into a little bit on this one. So let's move forward.
Okay,
we got some interesting articles of why Bitcoin is headed back up, and it's probably there to go to further heights, like Rod just said. This comes out of CNBC. After periodic drops of 20%, Bitcoin tends to come back even stronger.
Oh, just like I said.
It's just what the graph showed too. That's right.
It's like what we always say, Ron. We always say, just hang in there because it's going to bounce back. It's like one of those little rubber balls, you know, that when you throw it down, it just keeps that flubber. It's like flubber. That's exactly what we ought to call it.
All right, just hold on right there. Nobody in our audience, maybe 6, but nobody else is going to know what flubber is. Folks, you're going to have to Google that. It was an old Walt Disney show.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't even get into it.
No.
But he says right here, the last 4 times Bitcoin fell more than 20% this year. It gained an average of 61% in the following 4 weeks after it dropped.
That's right.
So statistics and history is showing that, Rod, you're right on the case about that. And you know, this one was probably the biggest if of all these downturns, because really Bitcoin Cash was gonna, you know, they were really gonna make an impact on Bitcoin. But as of yet, and I know it's only been a couple days, but we still believe that it's about over. Bitcoin Cash is just an altcoin, and we think that Bitcoin will continue to move.
Oh yeah.
As dramatic as the downturn in Bitcoin's price was over the weekend, history indicates future returns will likely be greater.
Greater. That's right.
And then it even gives another statistic there and so on. But then we have this gentleman here that's a member of X Fortress. His name is Novogratz, and this is the first time I've heard of him. But he's got I think he's a hedge fund manager that deals, you know, he collects money from several people and then he puts it into stocks or several assets to try to make a profit for the group. But he says this weekend when it dropped, he even bought $15 to $20 million worth of Bitcoin on that downturn.
You think that's the reason why it bounced up, because of all that?
I don't know if it had enough impact on that amount.
Yeah.
But his biggest regret for 2017 is that he hasn't bought more on the dips.
I know. I thought that was funny when you brought that up.
Yeah, they're starting to wake up to this stuff.
They are. People really are.
He also expects a major wealth firm to offer Bitcoin product within 6 months on their, well, whatever they do, hedge funds or whatever. But there's actually a second article here, Rod, about him. Billionaire, he's a billionaire bull. Novogratz. Big money's coming to Bitcoin real soon. And that's probably what that tweet was saying, that in the next 6 months he thinks there's going to be some serious money dumped into Bitcoin. Let's look at a few things on this article, Rod.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I actually missed one of our articles. We'll go back to it in just a second. But
it's the one underneath the little label, isn't it?
I just saw this 10% of his net worth, and he has 10% of his net worth in Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Wow.
Yeah, at the time, Novogratz was speaking out against Diamond's Bitcoin is a fraud remark. You remember Jamie Dimon saying that?
Yeah,
Bitcoin is a fraud?
Yep.
So he was rebutting that and saying, hey, there's no way. Stating that as a banker, Dimon had no choice but to belittle the digital currency. And we've said that.
They all do.
Yeah, we've said that in the past. All these bankers or people that are into stocks or financial things, they're the ones that are dissing on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I mean, it's like they have to.
And they're making people miss out on it, though. That's what's so bad about it.
Well, yeah, and even this talk about, and I think you mentioned this to me, Rod, even this talk about a bubble. I mean, every time that, you know, these guys come out and say it's in a bubble, it's going to pop, well, sure, that affects some of these new people because their only background has been with the financial institutions and programs that we have now.
Right.
So you get these know-it-alls that say, hey, it's in a bubble, it's going to pop. Well, yeah, it might affect some of them to turn around and not participate.
Yeah.
You're
so
right.
What do they call them? Animal spirits?
Yeah, you know, that's the article we're missed. We're going to go back to.
Yeah.
However, while he believes that financial institutions will accept Bitcoin in the next 6 months, he did fail to name a specific company. The institutionalization of this space is coming. It's coming pretty quick.
Yep.
So he put in 15 to 20 million more this last weekend.
If it goes down again, he's going to put in some more.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go back to that article. I think it's got some good points. This is out of Business Insider out of Australia. 4 factors driving the price of Bitcoin. Again, this ties in with what we're talking about, that Bitcoin rightfully will be at the top and it's on its way back up. He goes through and he talks about, you know, the dips it's had and so on, just like that article we read. And so here's a perfect example on that graph. But then here's his reasons. One, he calls animal spirits, and I've never heard of this before. Have you, Rod?
Nope, me neither until I read this article.
Yeah, I'm going to read just a little bit of it here, okay?
Okay.
Economists have long had the notion that psychological factors affect investor decisions. This is called animal spirits and refers to investors making decisions based on the behavior of other market participants in their own institutions rather than hard analysis.
Yeah.
It's like believing a couple of schmoes like us, so they want to get into Bitcoin. And, you know, everybody says, hey, this ICO's hot, and everybody's jumping into it. So people, this is one reason people, he's saying, gets into it. This animal spirits is that we follow the herd or the pack. And wherever they're headed, we're tagging along with them.
And what do we always say, Ron? We always say, don't listen to us. Do your own.
That's right.
Yeah.
Due diligence and research.
Due diligence and research, right.
And we just try to bring these things to you folks so you can actually see what's going on in the market a little bit. And, yeah, still do it. So anyway, that's one reason. Second reason is political risk. Political risk around national currencies can also affect the price of Bitcoin as people use it to hedge against price movements in a particular currency.
Or in a particular country.
Yeah. So
look. Well, you know, we just talked about Zimbabwe. Now, Zimbabwe, the Bitcoin in the country of Zimbabwe, Bitcoin is trading for $12,500 million a K. $12,500 a coin. Can you believe that?
And we're 7,000 here.
We're at 7,000 here. Yeah, that's $5,000 more.
Okay, so this is, and see, they've got their own exchanges there, but this is another reason. Just like he said, he called it political risk. When there's problems within a country or a government, and people aren't feeling safe and secure within their currency, they jump into other assets like maybe metals or Bitcoin, which drives the price up. I guess the same would be true with Venezuela, because they're really struggling right now with their currency.
Yeah.
And so
I don't know what Venezuela is. Let me check what their prices are trading for.
Well, he gives another example here while you're looking at that, Rod. He says the economic crisis in Greece in 2015 was followed by reports of increased buying of Bitcoin by Greek citizens wishing to protect their wealth. This did not seem to affect the price of Bitcoin on global markets, however, which remained steady. But it's just like we're talking about, and what you just pointed out, Rod, was exactly right on. Did you find it?
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Let me move to the next one while you're looking. Regulatory moves. Regulators around the world had to catch up to the rise of Bitcoin. They must decide, for instance, how it will be treated by the tax system, and we've been talking about that, or whether and what regulation applies to its use. Now, a perfect example of this is when China, when they closed the exchanges down and stuff, well, Bitcoin dropped dramatically. And then and then you look at Japan, when they put it as a national currency, I think it was back in April, and they had 100,000 or 200,000 retail stores start to accept Bitcoin. Well, that affects the price. And I believe he even talks about that in the article. It says here, Bitcoin It increased the price globally by 160% for the next 2 months when Japan made that announcement, he said. And that reminded me of that. So there's another reason why it'll continue to go by adopting, different countries adopting Bitcoin.
Excuse me.
Taking it on. Bless you.
Thank you. Need all the blessings I can get. I can't find
it,
it, Ron, right now.
That's fine. And the last one is Bitcoin's governance. Although Bitcoin is a decentralized currency, some decisions about how it will work or evolve need to be made from time to time. These also have an impact on the price. And we can see that. You know, we've had these several forks come. We almost had the Segwit 2X, which canceled, and Bitcoin Cash. See, and just Bitcoin Cash, perfect example. So as these things happen too, they also have an impact on the price. And as the article was titled, these 4 factors driving the price of Bitcoin. But right now the forks are over, so the governance, but that's not over either, because the governance within Bitcoin, if they take the Lightning platform or decide to increase the block, whatever they do too, that'll also have an impact going up. So another positive thing. And then the last thing we wanted to share, Rod, was this article, why Bitcoin now wears a suit and tie and will soon reach 10,000 schmackies.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Can't wait.
he's saying the same things you are by the end of the year, maybe.
Yeah.
And folks, sorry to read some of this, but they just put it in good layman terms. I'm not going to read a lot of this, just a couple lines. The basic truth is Bitcoin investors are yearning for respectability and for more retailers to accept the currency, more adoption, you know, more everyday use on there. Why? Not to purge the hard-earned Satoshis on Kindle or other places, that's for sure. No, the reason is that with a bigger use base, the price of Bitcoin will both rise and become more resilient. And that's exactly true. The more adoption there is, and he goes on to even talking about Amazon. And if Amazon does come on board and take Bitcoin, God, that could be another boost right there.
Well, they will legitimize it, right?
Yes, make it more.
It would really legitimize, so it'll be more susceptible to people using it as a coin.
And that's why Japan has done so well, because they've adopted it and it's brought that legitimacy to it, just like you said.
Yep.
They know that they have faith in it now, and that it works well. So Rod and I are still both believing that Bitcoin is back on track. Not that it got off track. A little upset over the weekend, but it's the one to be in. At least for us, it is.
Yeah, right now.
So, folks, appreciate you watching. And Rod?
Thank you very much. We appreciate it too, Ron. And God bless.
God bless all of you.